Good evening, councillors, staff, ladies and gentlemen in the gallery and those watching at home. Please be seated while Councillor Dewhurst delivers tonight's blessing.
Dear Lord, we gather here today as humble servants seeking your guidance and wisdom as we embark on a journey and do our best for our community. We come before you acknowledging that we are amidst times of change and challenge. We recognise that beloved city, our nation, indeed the world, grapple with the complexities and pains of conflict, loss and division. Today we especially lift up in prayer the souls of those who have departed from us and around the regions of Ukraine, Israel and Gaza. May your everlasting peace envelop them and may their loved ones find solace and strength in your enduring love and grace. As we deliberate and make decisions in the council this evening, may our minds be clear, our hearts be open and our spirits be attuned to the welfare of whom we serve. May we work in testament of your guidance, serving as a beacon of hope and unity for our city. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Can I begin by acknowledging that we are meeting on the traditional lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people and pay our respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging. It is now 7 o'clock and I declare the meeting open. Welcome, former Mayor, Mrs Owen Searle in the gallery. Welcome. Members of the public are cautioned against taking any action on council interest on items in which they may have an interest until such time as they've seen a copy of the minutes of the meeting or have been advised in writing by city staff. Record of attendance. Councillor Abetz and Councillor Adams are both apologies this evening. Other than that, everyone else is here. Are there any disclosures of interest? No disclosures of interest. Announcements by presiding member, that's me. Just like to thank everyone and congratulate you all on a great year and wish you all the very best for your holidays and Christmas celebrations and all the best for the new year as well. So hopefully you get some nice time off to yourself, relax, regenerate, ready for a big year next year. And as the mayoral tradition goes, I'm not sure who started it, might have been former Mayor Mrs Searle. There's a little gift of appreciation in the back room for each and every one of you from myself. So thank you all for your support. I said little. Don't get excited. So that's in the back there. Also wanted to thank councillors for your support on the initiative to plant a tree at the community forest next year in memory of Dorothy Burke, our former Senior Citizen of the Year, who sadly passed away just recently. And her husband's absolutely delighted that we'll be planting a tree in her honour in the community forest. So thank you all for that. And I think that's all I've got. Unless I should thank Glenda and the staff for Jingle All the Way. What a fantastic event that was with, Director Blake. I almost forgot to congratulate you and your team on that. It was very good with excessive amounts of people here, more than last year, and was really such a well-organised event. So please extend our gratitude to the staff. And I think that is all. Thank you. Reports of delegates. Are there any? Councillor Baines, thank you.
Thank you. On the 6th of December, Mayor Teresa Lyons and I attended the Boral Community Reference Group. We were taken on a very interesting tour of the site in their little minibus to see what stages they were up to in their digging. It was also fantastic to hear that they'd actually done a bit of a modification of their layout of where they store the mined material, which has resulted in a really good reduction in dust exposure to the surrounding residents. So that was a really good positive that came out of the meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Baines. Councillor Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Lyons. Just wanted to let Council know more of a thank you. In fact, I last week attended the Gosnells District Neighbourhood Watch. They had a mini event, if you like, a Christmas cheer type event, and Terry Brown, the chair of Gosnells District Neighbourhood Watch, was very, very grateful and appreciative to the City of Gosnells, councils and staff, Director Blake again and your team and Safe City. The police were in attendance at this particular event last week, and it was just nice that the Gosnells District Neighbourhood Watch, which has been going now for well over 30 years, and of course Neighbourhood Watch in WA for over 40 years now, the fact that the support that they're very grateful to the city, The police were in attendance, as I said, and they are, again, very supportive of Neighbourhood Watch. So it was just nice to be able to say, hopefully in 2024, they can do more work, continue on some of the work they have been doing with community events, street meet and greets, number plate recognition, etc. in terms, I should say, number plate screw changeover, which is very cleverly done. And the fact that they're well supported out there by the Magnton Central Shopping Centre and, of course, us. But, yeah, they're doing some good work at Neighbourhood Watch, so hopefully better things for 2024, but they send their appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Good, and of course Mr Terry Brown is in the gallery this evening, so thank you for your role you play in our Gosnells Neighbourhood Watch, Mr Brown. Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. Those that will recall our first meeting as council, the council elected Councillor Kevin McDonald and myself to the South East Metropolitan Zone. We attended our first meeting on Wednesday the 22nd of November, and myself and Mayor Patrick Hall were fortunate to be elected to the State Council for Welga. So just going to a quick report on our first State Council meeting, which was all a bit of a blur, I must confess. There's a lot to take in as a new State Councillor for Welga, and that was on the Wednesday the 6th of December. So a big focus on strategy, orientation, and just generally learning the other names of the people on the committee and the different roles that Welga has and the different advocacy portfolios. I have gone on to the Environmental Strategy and Advocacy Group as a subcommittee of Welga, and I look forward to continuing to report to this council and working with this council on how we can better work in that space. So that's my report from State Council, Her Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and congratulations on your appointment to State Council for Welga. Thank you. Councillor, any further reports? No, I should actually also congratulate Councillor Williamson, who's the new President of the Australian Local Government Women's Association WA branch, and Councillor Lloyd for her Vice Presidency Metro role in that association. Congratulations to both of you and all the very best. Question times from public. So the first question is from Mr Leon Walker from Kenwick, and it's on item number 13.2.2. Thank you, Mr Walker.
Madam Mayor, I point out that I'm asking these questions on behalf of Senator Barolo, who has been in contact with someone who has COVID. They're not my questions. I'm just acting as Mrs Barolo's agent in this matter. Okay? The first question is, why would you consider approving an extension of a development application when it will hold up road acquisition for the Clifford Street extension?
Thank you, Mr Walker. I'll ask our Director for Planning, Mr Terrelink, to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The reason is because the planning framework isn't in place yet to achieve the road connection, and it's only after that structure plan's finalised that we could impose conditions about creation of that road.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The second question is it true that councillors had a site visit to Victoria Road Friday and witnessed for themselves the amount of commercial vehicles that use Victoria Road? Furthermore, most of these commercial vehicles do not have development approvals, and these commercial vehicles come down residential roads.
I can probably answer that. I was there. As you know, I live on Victoria Road, and councillors wouldn't be aware of which trucks do and don't have development approval on that road.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next question is from Mrs Olwen Searle from Canning Vale.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Section 210, Part A of the Local Government Act of 1995 states that the role of a councillor is to represent the interests of the electors, ratepayers and residents of the district. Does this include their financial interests?
I can answer that. Yes, it does, and I hope that every councillor can answer that yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And my second question, does the council agree with the following statement? And if not, which part would it refute? Council members and local government employees are expected to make decisions, including financial ones, in the best interests of their community. And to do this, they must consider each and every issue on its merits.
Yes, that is correct.
You're happy to agree?
Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you. The next question is... Oh, sorry, no, there's no further questions. We're moving on to public statements, and the first public statement is from Mrs Tracy O'Neill from Kenwick, and I'll hand that back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This evening I'll be speaking against the officer's recommendation for item number 13.2.2. The Clifford Road extension is the only relief the city is offering the established residential area from over 1,200 heavy commercial vehicles every day. Any extension to the development application will only delay this. Our homes are being damaged, our lifestyles are destroyed, and we need this extension now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs O'Neill. The next public statement is from Regan Cake from Inglewood, and it's on item number 13, item 13.2.2, and it's on page 13 of the agenda, and it's proposed transport depot and storage. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
3 minutes you have.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Good evening, councillors. My name is Regan Cake from Dynamic Planning and Developments, and we act for the owners of 95 Victoria Road, Kenwick. Firstly, we want to express our support for the officer recommendation before you tonight for approval of the application. However, we just request a revised temporary approval period of 2 years as opposed to the recommended 12 months. Whilst we acknowledge and appreciate the city's desire to limit the length of temporary approvals due to the formal adoption of the Maddington-Kenwick Strategic Employment Area Structure Plan being imminent, forcing landowners to transition to temporary approvals over 6 or 12 months once the structure plan is approved isn't feasible. In reality, there will be more applications for temporary approvals when these periods end, or an additional compliance action needing to be taken by council in order to ensure that these approvals are adhered to. Unfortunately, some landowners just simply don't have the means to transition to permanent approvals and the works associated with implementing the conditions of these approvals. Whilst I appreciate this is a more strategic issue that needs to be considered, it does relate to 95 Victoria Road, as we fully expect to be lodging a subsequent planning application at the conclusion of the approval period to allow further time to relocate tenants and businesses currently in operation at the site. Other reason why we are seeking an additional 12 months include the site is impacted significantly by the Clifford Street extension, which means that the site is unable to be considered for permanent development into the future as intended by the structure plan, which dramatically reduces the value of this property. The only development scenario where permanent development might be considered is if an adjoining property is developed at the same time, which significantly reduces prospective purchases or available development outcomes. Finally, because the site is not capable of accommodating permanent development, relocation of the existing businesses at the site is going to be required, which in this current market will take much longer than 12 months to find a suitable alternative. Given these reasons and the very unique and unfortunate circumstances impacting this site as a result of the Clifford Street extension, we kindly request that Council amend the approval time period from 12 months to 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Cake. The next statement is from Mr Paul Morris, and it's on item number 14.1. Thank you, Mr Morris, from Secret Harbour.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. I'd like to bring to your attention the lack of awareness for apraxia of speech, also known as childhood apraxia of speech, within the whole of Australia, and more specifically to Western Australia. Our daughter Aaliyah, sitting with us this evening, was diagnosed with apraxia of speech approximately 4 years ago. Aaliyah's AIM, which we have set up on a social media page on Facebook, came to life due to the lack of awareness for childhood apraxia of speech, also known as apraxia and dyspraxia, within Western Australia and the whole of Australia. When Aaliyah was diagnosed with apraxia of speech, we soon realised that there was little to no awareness of this speech condition. We quickly found a Facebook page of a young man in the UK who has been battling apraxia of speech his whole life. He's had approximately 17 years of intensive speech therapy. And he is raising awareness in the UK through the support of his local politicians and councillors. We decided as a family, due to the lack of awareness, that we should start a Facebook page and social media pages for families so they know they're not alone. After a quick Google search, we found the month of May is Apraxia Awareness Month, and the 14th of May is the Apraxia Awareness Day internationally. The colour for raising apraxia awareness is blue. Aaliyah Zane took the initiative to see how we could raise awareness within the communities of Western Australia and through the communities of Western Australia, and through a friend we came to realise that there is a possibilities for landmarks across Western Australia to have their feature lighting turned blue. In May 2023, we reached out to approximately 20 locations from Geraldton to Bunbury to see who would be able to help raise awareness for apraxia of speech. And we had around 13 locations agree to help raise awareness. They all turned their feature lighting blue. So far for 2024, we have managed to secure 30 locations in Western Australia and another 30 locations across the other states of Australia and New Zealand, with over 300 locations already being contacted and waiting further response. The month of May and the 14th of May is an important to apraxic children and adults, as this is their possibility on a global scale to have their condition recognised and listened to. Imagine living life where you're unable to talk, but it's all in your head and what you want to say, but are unable to or can't talk, but others cannot understand you as your speech is unintelligible. Most importantly, the one thing that each and every one of us take for granted is speech. Imagine the frustrations of these children and adults alike, because it can come on to adulthood in later life through strokes. So today, Aaliyah's aim, just the two parents and our daughters, we are seeking to have the feature lighting across Western Australia recognised to be able to just turn blue on the 14th of May moving forward. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are no further public statements. Confirmation of minutes. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Dewhurst move that. Councillor Baines to second that. Are there any questions on the minutes? No. Councillors, will you please cast your vote? Thank you. That had one more vote. One more vote. Who hasn't voted? Thank you. If everyone pressed the button at the same time, we won't know who it was. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to the receiving of petitions and presentations. Are there any? Deputy Mayor Hawke, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have one petition to present here. It's quite long, so I'll read it out if that's okay, Madam Mayor. And I'm requesting a report as a consequence of this if it gets up tonight. So the petition request is local traffic only signage be installed at both ends of Madison Street, Southern River, and electronic signage indicating the current speed be erected along Madison Street as an immediate traffic calming measure. There's 36 signatures, and the reason for the request is Madison Street, which is situated in the kennel zone, has been impacted by continuing residential developments, and as a result has become a thoroughfare for both regular vehicles and large trucks. A recent investigation by the City of Gosnells found that the 85th percentile speed along this stretch of road is 74.7 kilometres per hour, which is well in excess of the designated 60 kilometres per hour. In response to the investigation, we've been advised that the City will consider the most appropriate method of traffic calming and include an allocation in its 5-year capital works plan. This is welcomed by residents, however it is likely still a couple of years away. There have been increasing reports of vandalism and dangerous driving along this street, which is likely attributed to the increased traffic accessing this street. This increased traffic affects residents beyond Madison Street, as it's used by local residents and families accessing boarding businesses in and around the Kennel area. There have been many near misses reported. With the upgrade of Southern River Road, it seems that this is the most appropriate route for traffic, particularly large sand trucks and the like. The residents of this area request that the City install local traffic-only signage at both ends of Madison Street and electronic signage indicating the current speed in an attempt to cut down on what is currently a dangerous situation. The petitioner is Kelly Pilgrim Byrne of 226 Corncrake Street, Court, Southern River.
Can that for you? Councillors, if you please cast your vote on the report being prepared for that. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Deputy Mayor, on your way back, would you be able to turn off the public gallery speaker microphone, please? Thank you. Are there any applications for leave of absence? No. There are no questions of which due notice has been given. In the interest of and convenience of the community, the public gallery, I shall bring forward item number 14.1, Aspraxia. It's a motion of which previous notice has been given. 14.1, Aspraxia Awareness Day. Councillor Dewhurst, do you want to move that?
Yeah.
Thanks, Councillor.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
The seconder is Deputy Mayor Hort. Councillor Dewhurst, go ahead.
Thanks very much, Madam Mayor. So the proposed motion goes that Council approves the Civic Centre being illuminated with blue lights on the 14th of May each year to help raise awareness of childhood apraxia. And the reason that is, apraxia is a motor speech disorder that makes it hard to speak. It is a condition that I have only recently become aware of. And to raise awareness of the condition, I'd like the Civic Centre to be illuminated with the blue light on the 14th of May each year. 14th of May is Apraxia Awareness Day, illuminating the Civic Centre with blue light. The official colour for apraxia awareness will help to promote awareness of the condition.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Deputy Mayor Hort. Thank you.
Yeah, just speaking in support of Councillor Dewhurst's notice of motion, and it was lovely to hear from a family who have had this impact to their life as well. I've worked in the health sector for 15 years and have looked after people who have apraxia, generally later on in age. I've not looked after children in my career, so I can't even imagine the impact that must have. So, yeah, congratulations, Councillor Dewhurst, on bringing to our attention something that's it's well worth us knowing more about. I've certainly learned a thing or two tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Any further comment, Councillor? Okay. Thank you. You kind of did speak to it. You'd be closing because you did speak to it. Yeah.
So
You'd be closing.
that's okay though.
Thank you.
We're friends. We share.
Sorry, I should just clarify. No one else had any comment other than yes. That's fine. Please
Okay, thanks,
close.
Madam Mayor. So, look, I'd just like to tell a bit of a story how I come aware of this. It was, so I take my dingoes for a walk around different parks and on Leeds, and obviously. And I was down at Pirate Park in Fry Park in Kelmscott. And I saw this child behaving very badly, hitting mum. And it was quite upsetting, and I was going to go over there and have a real good crack at this kid. For this happening, and as I got closer, I realised there was something not going on. Something was going on that I wasn't aware of, and I thought because I've got the dingo with me, maybe the attention will be attracted to her, and it was. Mum got hurt; she got smacked in the nose, and obviously wasn't crying, but had tears in her eyes because you just got to touch my nose and I'll start crying. And I got talking to her, and I was saying, "Oh, what's going on?" And she said, "Oh, she's got apraxia, child has apraxia," and I thought, what's that? Anyway, she started telling me about it, and I said, well, what brought this on? And it was about frustration of not actually having the ability to say, I want to have 2 more swings or 3 more swings, or I want to play on this thing, I want to go to the toilet, or something like that. And she said some cities have boards up where non-verbal children can actually go up and point at these boards. And I thought, what a great idea. I thought this is probably something we could do in our city. And so then then everything was fine. They went home, and I went home and I was thinking about how stupid I was to come to that conclusion straight away and how to turn the stupidity into action. And the action was I actually met Martin in the hallway, and I said, Martin, have you heard about apraxia? And actually I started calling it asphyxia because, as you know, I'm a bit dyslexic. And he has never heard it either. And we got to what it was. And I said, look, these signs, can we put these up in our in our parks? And he says, well, he goes, yes, easy. He goes, consider it done. Not done, but, a very easy thing to do. And then I had a meeting with the CEO and I said, look, is there a chance that we could put these signs up? And Ian straight away said yes. It's very minimal cost to the city, certainly a benefit. So I put this out on my Facebook page and said I've come across this and I learned about apraxia, and the amount of people in our city that reached out to us whose children have apraxia, I was absolutely amazed. And they're saying, and people got to share it, and then I heard from Paul said, well, this is what it's about, and sent me a lot of documentation on it. It was very interesting actually to see it and to read about it, and I thought, well, okay, that ignorance of that day for myself we turned into a positive. Now, councillors, I know for a fact that I could have just asked everyone to say, can we just light up the building on the 14th of May for apraxia, and every single one of you would have said yes, no problems at all. But the reason I brought it to motion tonight was because I just wanted to highlight it, get it on YouTube, and so we can, just try and do some good things. Now, other thing is I've heard from a couple of staff members who have said that they raise money every month for different things, and that they could have a look at doing this as well, and they'll be very happy to do that. So, something that I need to talk to Paul and his family about. So, councillors, I'm assuming everyone's going to support it. I know everyone will support it. I've spoken to a number of you about this, and I want to, I just want us to put it up there on the 14th, and I would like for the department, our communities, people to put it out on our Facebook pages and around the 14th to tell people why we're lighting up the city building for blue. It's not a blue light disco or anything like that. It's for apraxia, so that'd be absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Could everybody please vote on this motion? Thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. The lights will be blue on the 14th of May. Thank you. Moving back to item number 12.1, the minutes of the Audit Committee meeting held on the 12th of December 2023. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Baines to move that. Councillor Williamson to second that. Any questions or debate on this item, councillors? No? If you could please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to item number 13.1.1, the Public Open Space Strategy Update for December 2023. Can I get a mover? Deputy Mayor Hort to move this. Councillor McDonald to second this. Deputy Mayor Hort. Councillor McDonald. Any further debate on this item? Councillor Williamson, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to propose a procedural motion to defer this item to an elected members workshop in 2024 for the following reason. Clarification is required in relation to a number of elements of the strategic plan, including the operational plan referred to in the strategy, as that plan will guide the acquisition, development and disposal of land. Data used to conclude that the current level of public open space in the city is adequate, and whether that data takes into account future population growth, whether existing POS is located within 400 metres of all residential properties as recommended in the livable neighbourhoods, the implications of spending cash in lieu of POS on LED lighting and reticulation for the city's ability to fund the acquisition of new land for POS, and the impact of inclusion of restricted POS on the total open space available per suburb in the strategy. Thank you.
Can I get a seconder? Deputy Mayor Hort's happy to second that. We need to go to vote on this one. Everybody please cast your vote. Thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to 13.1.2, the communications agreement between the Council of the City of Gosnells and the Chief Executive Officer. Can I get a mover? Councillor Dewhurst to move that. Councillor Lloyd to second that. Thank you. Any questions or debate on this item, councillors? Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say how well I think, in case anyone's watching this and thinks that we have to do this because of some kind of disruptive relationship between the two, that's not the case. It couldn't be further from the truth. So we've, in my experience, a wonderful relationship between councillors, elected members and the directors and CEO. And I certainly get the impression through all my dealings over the last four years or so that we're a team and we work together well as a team. And this is just a requirement that captures that, I think, quite nicely. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Any further debate or questions on this item? Councillors, please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to Planning and Development, 13.2.1, the development application for the tavern additions at 37 Lot 3 Atfield Street, Maddington. Can I get a mover? Councillor Williamson to move this, Councillor Zhang to second this. Is there any questions or debate? Councillor Williamson? Councillor Zhang? No. Councillors, if you please cast your vote. Thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to 13.2.2, the development application for the transport depot and storage at 95 Lot 407 Victoria Road, Kenwick. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Baynes to move that. Councillor Williams to second that. Any questions or debate on this, councillors? I have a question for our Director of Planning, Mr. Terrelink. Could you, at the site meeting recently, we talked about the potential to relook at that road going a bit closer to the boundary. Is that something that will happen from this point on? Would you be able to tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, it is, Madam Mayor. Based on the sentiment expressed at the site meeting, I've asked my guys to move ahead with looking at the costing of that minor change to the structure plan to see what we can do there and put that back to the DPLH or the state government when the structure plan goes back to them.
Sorry, one more question while you're up. And what sort of time frame do you think that would be?
We're pushing the engineers to finalise costing for the infrastructure items now, and we hope that we should be back to the council very early in the new year.
Okay, thank you. Is there any further questions or debate on this item? No? Okay. Councillors, if you'd like to cast your vote, thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. Moving on to item number 13.3.1, the report on the petition for the request for pedestrian accessway closure at Waratah Court in Maddington. Can I move Deputy Mayor Hort to move that? Councillor Islam to second that. Any questions? Councillor Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I walk and I run a lot in my local area, and I stumbled across this exact chicane at Osprey Court Reserve in Thornley. It would have been probably 12 months or so ago, and by the time I'd asked Martin exactly when it had gone in, I noticed a massive difference in the amount of motorbikes going through that park when the gopher went through, only because I can hear them. I can't actually see the park, I can hear them from my house. And it's made a massive difference there. It looks neat, it's cost effective. I'm a big fan of these chicanes, so love to see what's being done here. I think it's a step in the right direction. I applaud the city staff for thinking outside the box. I think there needs to be some fancy name for them though, rather than just chicanes. Like there could be something better there. Maybe the Richard chicane, I don't know.
Is there any further questions on this item? No? Councillors, if you please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you, that has been carried. Item 13.4.1, the grants program for the festivals and events for November 2023. Can I get a mover? Councillor Dewhurst to move this, Councillor Zhang to second this. Councillor Dewhurst, thank you.
So thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, I'd just ask fellow councillors to support this. The Perth and Legion community is a very strong community. It's a community that I'm sure we've all attended some of the functions that they've had before. The head office is in Huntingdale, in area, so It's an area within our area, so I would just like to ask councillors to support this well-worthy cause. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dewhurst. Any further? I just have a question for the Director of Community Engagement, in that, given that we are looking to approve this request for funding for their big event, and it looks like it's going to be a big event, but would we be able to help them with the social media on our own platform to ensure that it is a success, given that we've got such a significant investment in it ourselves? Is that possible?
Yes, Madam Mayor, that's absolutely possible. In fact, I think it's probably a really good idea for all of the approved applications for this category, because the council is contributing quite a sizable amount. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Director Blake. Any further? Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
I wasn't going to, but I will. I think it's important to note, like, in the broader budget in the city of Gosnells, we spend an enormous amount on programs and events. We bring all sorts of exciting things to our city, and we're award-winning, I'm pretty sure. Well, at least we've got lots of nominations for it. We're award-winning as well in that regard, and it costs money. And so if we can attract other people to invest in programs and events, even if we're contributing in kind or less, it goes a long way towards us achieving the same goals, with hopefully by spending a lot less money. And so I don't want anyone in the community to think we're just throwing this money around willy-nilly. My hope is this actually ends up being a cost-saving initiative for the city into the future as we engage more and more partners in our programs and events. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Anything further on this, councillors? No? Please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. It's all a blur here. Where am I up to here? Item 13.5.1, the financial activity statement for November 2023. Councillor McDonald to move that. Councillor Baines to second that. Thank you. Any questions, Councillor McDonald? Councillor Baines? No? Okay. Councillors, would you please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to item 13.5.2, the payment of accounts for November 2023. Can I get a mover? Geez, you're slow putting your hands up tonight, people. Deputy Mayor Hort, Councillor Good, thank you. Any questions on this item? Thank you, councillors. Will you please cast your vote? It's not Christmas yet, is it? Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.5.3, the budget variation for 23-24 Capital Works Program. Can I get a mover for this? Oh, look at that. Councillor Zhang and Councillor Good to second it. Thank you. Any questions on this? Councillor Williamson, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to speak in support of this item. Really pleased to see Barrett Street being brought forward. People in the area will know that this has been a main route into Southern River for many years. A few years ago, Councillor Abetz, he's not here tonight, but he was instrumental in getting the speed limit changed on there because it wasn't even speed rated. It's a main access road to the school in the area, and students are walking on the side of the road without a footpath. So this will be fantastic to see a footpath, the road resurfaced, and then some lighting to come in the following year. So I request your support. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Hort, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to applaud Councillor Williamson on her advocacy for our community on Barrett Street. I think that's a wonderful outcome. One question, I know the answer, but I'd love to hear it for the record, is what's happening with the CAT management facility, Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Mr Bradbrook, the Director for Business Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, the donga for the CAT management facility is at the pound already. We're just waiting for that to be fitted out, which should happen early in January. We have advertised for a person to run that facility, and hopefully we can have it up and running sort of end of January, early February next year.
And all under budget, Madam Mayor, which is fantastic to see. And I know people are looking forward to transporting their cats to Maddington instead of to South Perth. So thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hort. Well, while we're asking questions, we should ask when we're planning on starting Mary Carroll Park, Acting Director for Infrastructure. Would you like to talk to that? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, so we should be breaking ground in the new year. We're currently in the phase of undertaking the procurement activities associated with the various different pieces of equipment and the services required to install them. I couldn't give you an exact date right now, but what I can say is I'm excited to actually see the sod to be turned, and I'm sure everybody will get invited along to begin that ceremony, and then we can get started. But I'm hoping it will be in the kind of February, March time. That's what we're hoping. Sure.
Very much. Thank you. Any further questions on this item? Councillors, if you please cast your vote. Thank you. One more vote. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.5.4, the adoption of the annual report for 2022-23 and determination of a date for the city's annual electors meeting. Councillor Good to move that. Thank you, Councillor Good. Councillor McDonald to second that. Councillor Good, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Lyons. What I find fascinating about the annual report is just reflecting on the key achievements of the city. I just noticed we're talking about the future, about what projects are on and what we've got coming up in 2024. But when I look about the key achievements and I look through what we've actually achieved as a city, some wonderful things have been done by this city, and it's worthwhile reflecting. So I encourage all ratepayers and all citizens to actually have a good read, from the ghost walks to winning, to being endorsed as a Waterwise Council, Thornley Tennis Courts refurbishment, all the abilities playgrounds, of course, all being done, but there's more to do there. But it's just some really good achievements. But in particular, one that really, really highlights to me the importance was what we've been to see this afternoon in terms of the sod at the Southern River Business Park. I think that now all 54 lots are sold. Tremendous achievement. That is absolutely mind-blowingly brilliant, actually. And the fact that that all happened in the first so many months of their release, and that we will complete civil construction in this financial year. So that's just huge for the city. It's just a massive project, and I just want to congratulate, and I hope all ratepayers and residents actually get a chance to have a really good look at the annual report. So I commend the city, and of course we all look forward to the future, but it's just good to reflect on our achievements. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Good. Councillor Williamson, thank you.
Thank you. I just have a question through you, Madam Mayor. Do we know when this annual report will be available online for residents and in the libraries for viewing? Thank you. Director
Bradbrook, thank you.
Madam Mayor, if not by the end of this week, then next week I think we'll have it. It'll certainly be online. It should be out at libraries by then as well.
Thank you, Councillor Williamson. Any further questions on this item? No. Councillors, will you please cast your vote? Thank you, councillors. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.5. No, that's not the one. Point 3? Point 5. 13.5.5, the Delegated Authority Register for 2023-2024. Can I get a mover for this? Deputy Mayor Hort, seconded by Councillor Ashwin. Deputy Mayor Hort, Councillor Ashwin. Do you have any comment or debate on this item? Okay, thank you. I just wanted to congratulate the staff on the item the reference 1.211, the possession and disposition of land for unpaid rates and service charges. I think it's great that this has come forward, and obviously under the right circumstances, the city will now be able to move forward with getting those rates back, which makes it less of a burden on all the other ratepayers in the city. So the message is clear that you need to pay your rates, or there's problems coming your way, of course. So anything further, councillors? No? If you'd like to cast your vote, please. Thank you. That has been carried. Item number 13.5.6, the 2023 policy review. Can I get a mover, please? Councillor Dewhurst to move that. Councillor Lloyd to second that. Councillor Dewhurst? Councillor Lloyd? No. Anybody else? No. Thank you. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. Item 13.5.7, the amendment to the designated dog exercise areas within the City of Gosnells, Harmony Fields, Maddington. Can I get a mover for this? Councillor Williamson, seconded by Councillor Baynes. Councillor Williamson, Councillor Baynes. Councillor McDonald, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to propose a procedural motion, if I may. I, Councillor Kevin McDonald, propose the following: that the item be deferred to a meeting in the first quarter of 2024 for the following reason: to enable further consideration to be given to the matter. Thank you.
I'm happy to second that. Councillors, if you could please cast your vote. Thank you. Cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Moving on to 13.5.8, the tender for 16/2023 construction of Evandra Road and associated works. Can I get a mover? Councillor Williamson to move that. Councillor Baynes to second that. Any questions on this item, councillors? No. If you could please cast your vote. Thank you. Thank you. That has been carried. Item 13.5.9, the tender for 18/2023 drainage reduction and pipe cleaning. Can I get a mover? Deputy Mayor Hort, seconded by Councillor Good. Any questions on this item? Councillors, please cast your vote. Thank you. That has been carried. What is that? Is that confidential? Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was confidential. No. We do have a late item here. We've already dealt with the motions of which previous notice have been given. The urgent business is a late item, which is item number 15.1, which is a purchase of the land at 6 Lot 21, The Crescent, Maddington. Can I move it? Deputy Mayor Hort to move that, seconded by Councillor Good. Any questions on this item? Councillor Ashwin.
Yes, all the lots in the dark brown.
Mike, you need to stand as well, Councillor Ashwin. Thank you.
Yeah, all the lots that are dark brown on the map here, are they owned by a developer?
No.
Who are they owned by?
They're all individually owned.
All owned
individually owned, privately
individually owned. Okay.
The city does own one of them on the corner.
We own lot 4, which is we own lot 2, which is on the very corner, and we own lot 8, which is next to lot 6, where the road's.
But other than that, they're all individuals.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, councillors? No, if you please cast your vote.
We also need to sort of effectively vote on that, but I think you can just say that whoever moved and seconded the report can support bringing that on because it's urgent business late.
Yeah, okay. So we need to do them as...
We'll do it as the same. So
oh, okay, we'll put them together?
Yeah.
So you're voting on both of these, the urgent business as well as the 15.1. Councillors, please. Oh, you're all done, okay. Thank you, that has been carried. Thank you. There are no confidential matters and I declare the meeting closed at 7:48. Ladies and gentlemen in the gallery, all the best for Christmas and the New Year. Hopefully you'll come back and support us again in the New Year. Thank you.